All right. So what else should we cover? Because I got some questions to ask you here, but then you're going to have to take care of the interview for me because you have to cut in a little bit.
Okay.
Of Jim Pepper.
All right. Should we transition to a conversation about Jim Pepper?
Yeah. Okay, so this is not Sean, this is Winona.
And I am Sean Cruz, and I have moved over to the other microphone.
Yeah. We're not sure what this did, but we're hoping it's doing something for all of you.
Yes.
All right. So this is Winona LaDuke, and I'm here with Sean Cruz, and I'm out here in Portland because I'm wandering the country darn again, which is a nice thing to do. And Sean, where are you from originally?
San Francisco Bay Area. That's where I grew up, but I've lived here in Portland for almost 20 years now, in the area for 20 years. In Portland since 1996. All
right.
Yeah.
So I happened upon Sean here last night. This is in May of 2010, and man, he gave me a CD of Jim Pepper, and so here on White Earth Reservation, where I live, I don't know if a lot of people know much about Jim Pepper, but it was kind of an extraordinary set of circumstances that brought Sean to Jim, and Jim to Sean, and then his music, which I had heard when I was in college, a couple times, and he is one of the great indigenous musicians of all time. So I want you to tell me a little bit about the story you told me earlier about the first time you hear Jim Pepper, including all those things that you did while you were sitting there in that bowling alley.
Yeah, well, it was a
roller
rink.
Roller rink. Okay, Sean. So let it roll. Tell me a little bit about it.
It was about 1970, and I was a guitar player, trumpet player, and music major down in the Bay Area. And I went to a Larry Coryell concert, jazz fusion pioneer, and Larry was, playing way out on the edge, just fantastic stuff with a guitar. And the venue used to be a roller rink, so just picture a great big room, no chairs. We're all sitting on the floor. There's a stage in there. And the headliner was Chuck Berry. It was one of those really crazy kind of booking combinations. And the crowd was really there for Chuck. And when Coryell finished their very first song, it was almost silent in there. There was about 10, 15 of us that were actually applauding and just silent. I can't remember if there was actual booing, but I think there might have been. And that was my psychedelic period, so
it wasn't clear what was going on.
And this guy that was sitting in there not far from me, he hollers out, "My kid's sister can play guitar better than you."
Oh, that's cruel.
Isn't that?
Oh, that's cruel.
But that's how silent it was. You could hear it everywhere, that was the only sound in there. Well, as Coryell's band started to play their set, the crowd warmed up a little bit, but the band, they were there for Chuck. They wanted to hear Maybelline and Johnny B. Good and the Duck Walk and all of that, and that was all yet to come, and that was fine. But there was something extraordinary about to happen, and it got to this point where Larry said he wanted to feature the saxophone player, and he introduced him as a Native American, and he came up to the front of the stage, and he started playing this song, and it was fantastic. By the time the song ended, everybody in there just about was standing and shouting and singing. It just transformed the room. It was fantastic. And after the concert, I went looking for that guy. I went directly to the record store looking for whoever that guy was, and I actually drove away without remembering his name.
Right, I was going to say, in the situation and state of mind you were in,
exactly,
you did not actually. It was altered state of mind. You did not actually get the guy's name.
Exactly, did not, or the name of the song. But it was so fantastic.
You thought that cosmically you would just arrive there at Tower Records in the middle of the night, and that would appear.
It would be in the Larry Coryell band.
Yeah,
of course.
It
must have been out promoting, something that, and. Well, anyhow, that's when I started buying Coryell albums, even if they didn't identify a saxophone player, just in case, and I ended up with a whole bunch of Coryell albums over the next few years, and eventually I gave up. And that was early 70s. And then...
Wait, so I just want to say, in the theory right now, I'm gonna just ask you to play for me that song that you heard. You do that. Can you do that? I mean, as this interview is regrouped, maybe you can
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure they've got it in the station.
cut that
here.
in there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they
What was
have.
that song called?
Wichitaito.
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 I know that song. Okay, so this
Yeah.
this
But I
is the
didn't know
song
it at
that
the
start.
time.
That was the song that was the start of your quest.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
exactly. As to find this guy, and eventually I gave up because I never found it in the Larry Coryell bin, and but then in 2002, I bought this house and it was vacant. It had been vacant for some time
In Portland.
In Portland, bought it from a developer and just fell in love with the house as soon as I saw it. 5 broken windows, didn't matter at all. I could feel something special in here. And so I ended up buying the house. And I went down to buy some new music for my new house. And I've been a jazz and blues fan for a long time. And but I walked out of that record store with no jazz and no blues, but 5 Native American CDs, traditional powwow music. That's when I discovered Bill Miller, and some young Native rockers called Red Thunder. And so I'm just listening to Native music in there, and it just felt great. It felt like, wow, this needs to be played in my house. It made me feel good. And then I met the lady on the corner who told me that the Pepper family used to live there, and Jim Pepper. And I was aware of Jim's name, but he passed away in 1992. It was before I moved into Portland, and I didn't connect it with anything. And then a couple weeks later, this car stops, and this lady gets out, and she says, "Hi, my name's Susie. We used to live here and wondered if we could see the old house again." And I said, "Well, sure, come on in." We had a nice visit, and she asked me if she could bring her mom. I said, "Well, sure, bring your mom." And so a week later, they came back we had a nice visit, and as they were leaving, Floyd Pepper gave me a gift, a CD called Jim Pepper's Powwow. And I put it on as soon as they left, and it starts with a chant, and I'm thinking, oh, this is cool because I'm listening to a lot of Indian music lately, and then the second cut, this song starts to play, and I could think, man, I've heard this before. I'm thinking, where have I heard this? I know this song, I've heard this. Who is this? And I'm looking at the CD, and I can see that Larry Coryell is the guitar player, and is recorded in 1971, and but by the time it got to the middle of the saxophone solo in that first song, I knew exactly who it was. It was him. I'd been looking for him for years, and here he was, and his mom came to my house and gave me the CD, the record I'd been looking for years. It was Jim Pepper, Jim Pepper's Powwow, 1971. You gotta have it.
That's great. Thank you.
You gotta have it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that story, and I like this. I always like the story of the quest.
Yeah.
And then how it all pans out, and I like that. So I just want to thank you for telling me that, and I'm hoping that we could play some of this Jim Pepper here, and
Yes.
and I'll have to get my audience, the Ashki Anishinaabe, the new people at White Earth here, acquainted, if we do not know Jim Pepper, one of the greats of all time.